We would all agree, and as myself as a health educator, that people need to look at ways in which to reduce sugar content in their diet and create healthier choices and eat more fresh produce and vegetables. The way in which the design of our sugar tax, I think, challenging a year on from that, is to see whether patterns of consumption have altered because of the prices, and that I think we can't see. It's early days. I know personally, as a registered dietitian, countering that perception that healthy eating is expensive. Well, we've seen everything go up, and I think we can see there have been surveys a year on from the sugar tax where everything across the board, whether it's being affected by the sugar tax or not, has gone up in price. Where the purpose, I think, of a sugar tax should be to nudge people, perhaps with a little bit of financial incentive, to buying something, a healthier choice that is slightly more affordable. The net gain or the monetary gain from the sugar tax, the public want to know that that money is going back into health education, health promotion, and how is that impacting? If it's not directly impacting my choice at the grocery store, is it ultimately coming back in other ways of health promotion and health education to the public, our kids and the community?
There are no funds being funneled into programs for
at the moment. There's not a plan that we're aware of that it's coming back, and I think that that's still being looked at and possibly being developed and in the pipeline, but that's usually something that's worked out before, and it's usually launched as it gains kind of public support garnered at the outset of implementing a sugar tax. From my understanding, Dianne, and not working and developed a good relationship with one of the members at HM Customs to look at the huge workload that it's obviously impacted them to look at every single food ingredient list that comes on, and if sugar in any form is formulated on that label, that product will incur the 75% customs tariff tax. But then it has different levels before it gets to us as a consumer, that tax is passed down to us. In the UK, charging or the tax was on a level of sugar per 100 grams or 100 mils in that product, which very successfully led to the reformulation of a lot of sugary beverages, Ribena and Lucozades, which got marketed and sold and distributed a win-win for the population with less sugar in it. So there have been effective means, there are effective ways that this can be done, and hopeful perhaps that we can look at the way in that this is done to make it effective and make it meaningful for the public here. So looking at countries where other strategies like food labeling at the packaging, so that you've got 1.8 seconds at a grocery store to make a decision. If a product is labeled, it might high in sugar or something like that might change someone's perspective. So there are other ways, there are lots of ways that we can look at doing this. There are many countries in the world which are looking at us. We're looking at Bermuda sort of down a telescope, because no other country in the world has put a tax at about 75% at this point that we've done. So we have got all eyes on us to a certain extent, and I think as a health educator we want to see that that's done in a meaningful way.